Hey, well, welcome back. As you can see, we've really downgraded the size here at Grants Pass. Look over here. We got kicked out of our hotel room, and now I'm in the middle of a kids' craft room. But this is where I would prefer to live. Hey, for my church administration final, my name's Ray, by the way. I wanted to go over time management for pastoral leadership and ministry leadership. And basically, the way I kind of started off is by thinking, have you ever met someone who has unlimited money to the point where they can buy anything that they want whenever they want without any consequences and never worried about running out? Me neither. Yeah, which is why it's important, because time is a much more valuable resource than even money. We can't actually add more time. We only have so much to work with, which is why it's just as important to not only budget your money, but in this case, budget your time well. And so that's going to look like basically understanding for a pastor what their true priorities are with the church, delegating work out to others, building a good administrative team and structure, and then also utilizing technology. So first I want to talk about essentially burnout, because there's plenty of studies on how pastors from burnout can lead to like paranoia, depression, suicide, etc. None of it's good. And ironically, as they start to go down those trails, one of the first things that starts to lose out is their devotional time and their spiritual time with God, getting fed the word, growing and building. And so as that gets cut out in order to make room for all these other priorities that aren't a priority, they just kind of self-destruct. So burnout's a huge problem. And one of the ways that you want to get away from that is by first of all taking stock of what things you need to get rid of. It's kind of called essentially the tyranny of the urgent, which is these tiny little things that keep creeping up that need to be dealt with right away, where you get your head so far down looking at those things that you can't lift your eyes up high enough to see where you're trying to go or what the bigger picture is. And tyranny of the urgent really plays into the fact that, like with farms, there's really seasons and timing to things. And sometimes you feel like if only if I put in more work, I can make things happen faster. But the reality is that you have basically there's a process to it, and you're only a small part of some of those processes. In 1 Corinthians, Paul says, I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God made it grow. And so often we can lose track of the fact that we are there to do certain individual tasks and other people are there to do other tasks, but ultimately God's the one at work. And we can't, I can't overemphasize that enough, that we need to be careful that we don't overstep our boundaries of what God's asking us to do. We aren't the ones that make it grow. We're the ones who maybe just specifically plant it, and that's all. And so fighting for your priorities is a real big thing, and that's why there's some great tools at hand, like the real-time agenda, where instead of having an agenda written out by someone else and people are sitting through boring meetings, we're actually figuring out, okay, what are the top priorities for us in this room that we need to work on together? I know even Bill Hybels talked about, he would do like, what are the 6 most important things I have to get done in the next 6 weeks? And he would just do that every 6 weeks. And anything that didn't make it on that list, he'd just shred out of his life or give to someone else, basically, which is what